Hello, boys and girls. How are you guys doing? Miss Moon here, and I am going to teach your reading lesson for today. Now, you probably just heard the book Island Born. Okay. Now, if you will remember, at the end of the book, she showed or shared every different part about the place that she was from. She added the blanket bats, she had the monster, she had the mango that made you cry, there's the bats, the whales, the dolphins, everything that she learned about, everything that she was told about her, the island that she came from, she added it into her story. And that is what you guys are going to do today. You are going to think about a place that you are from. You might be from Texas, you might be from somewhere else. Miss Moon is from Georgia, so she drew a picture showing a couple of different things that I remember from where I'm from. Okay, so this was mine. I wrote at the top, Georgia, and I added a couple of different things. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is the same exact thing. You're going to draw some pictures of where you're from. So if you're from Texas, you're going to draw some pictures of things here. If you're from a different state, maybe you're from a different country. Okay? Just depends on where you're from. Everybody's from a different place. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw me pictures of things that you remember about the place that you're from. Okay, you might be wondering, what are all the little green sticky notes? Well, after you draw your pictures, I want you to label all the different parts. Okay, I'm going to start with an easy one. So this right here, you probably already guessed, is a pool. So whenever I was younger, see, I wrote my word, pool. When I was younger, at the house that I lived in, we had a huge pool in the backyard. I absolutely loved it. It was the best pool. We had a diving board. There was a shallow end, the deep end. I would always dive down and go and get stuff off the ground, and I loved swimming. So a swimming pool is something that I remember from where I grew up. Another thing is this one up here. These are windy roads. Now here in Texas, the ground is kind of flat. You just kind of go straight. You might go around a corner or something. But in Georgia, you have hills and you have windy roads. And it was so much fun to drive those roads and going back and forth and looking at the trees and all of that, which lead me into my next one, which are the colorful leaves. Now, as the seasons change over in Georgia, we have green leaves, and then as the temperature changes, they slowly change to reds and greens and yellows and orange, and then some of them kind of turn a little brown. So the colorful leaves is something that I absolutely remember and love from Georgia. Another thing that I had on here, it's kind of hard to see, I colored it in a little harder than I should have, but it's a squirrel. So what I put is, I put trees and little animals. So we had a lot of squirrels. You're probably like, Miss Moon, we have squirrels here. We do have squirrels here, but not like in Georgia. They are all over the place. Everywhere you would go, you would see a squirrel. So that's just something that I remember from Georgia. A couple of other things is skating. Whenever I was younger, I used to go roller skating. I absolutely loved it. Another thing, this was one of my favorites that I used to do with my brothers. So they had skateboards. I couldn't stand up on a skateboard to save my life. I couldn't do it. I couldn't roll. I'd always fall off. But what I could do is I could sit down on the skateboard, and we had a big hill in our where we lived. So I'd get going, and then I'd just ride the skateboard all the way down the hill. It was so much fun. I loved it. I always run over my thumbs though. That kind of hurt, but it was worth it. Another thing is my house. Okay, so we had our little home right next to the pool. But another thing is that whenever I was younger, I lived close enough to my school that my mom and I would walk back and forth to and from school. So whenever it was time to drop me off, we'd walk to school. When it was time to pick me up, she'd come pick me up and we'd walk back home. It was really, really, really close. And I really enjoyed that time. So this is my picture, just like she did in the story. She drew all the different things that she could remember and the people around her could remember. Okay, so she has all those details, all those colors. She didn't label it, but as she went through the story, she kind of showed you what, or told you what she was doing. And then I did one for Georgia, where I did the different parts of it. And now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to think of, where am I from? Okay, you don't have to label it at the top unless you really want to. But then I want you to draw pictures and label those pictures of what those are. And when you're done, you're going to share this with your teacher on the Flipgrid. And I'm sure that your teachers are going to absolutely love seeing your pictures. So make sure that you color them, because if you do it in pencil, it's going to be kind of hard to see on the camera. So make sure you color them, make sure that you write your words so that the teachers can see it. And I know that they're going to love it. I can't wait to see all of them. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I look forward to seeing your Flipgrids. Bye, guys.